In the criminal justice system, murder is considered especially heinous. On the NYPD staff, only one man is trusted with this kind of forensic investigation. This is his story.
What have I done? I must get rid of the evidence!
Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Quick googly moogly, I'll take care of it.
Sherlock!
There's been a dead body.
What? We have to investigate.
So, what do we have here, Sherlock?
It appears we have a dead body.
Yes.
Where are your gloves, Watson? You're not even wearing shoe protection.
Was this better, Sherlock?
Yes it is. Alright, so let's investigate this crime scene, Watson. You see how there's some black hair in her hair?
Yes,
that
yes,
isn't
yes.
hers?
Yes, this is clearly not hers. Oh, we got the tweezers.
Yep.
Tweezers.
Alright, I got the tweezers and I got the envelope. with the hair.
Good. Not the chain custody.
I will.
You'll know what you got.
Alright. So, we have the hair.
Yes, I'll go.
But look at this blood.
Let's take some swabs.
Definitely.
And
My dear Sherlock, you will sop up some of the blood. I will take care of her fingernails. Daddy, tricky. Daddy,
Back to you.
absolutely. Again, don't forget the chain of custody.
Probably. I think we should do a sweep of the area for evidence.
Indubitably.
Come with me, let's look around the surrounding area. Oh! Scissors with blood on it. Look at this.
Yes, very bloody scissors they are. Get the plastic bag.
Will do.
I just want
Cut it.
Putting the scissors evidence in the bag.
Don't forget the chain of custody.
I will not.
All right, Sherlock. I feel like getting bloody. Let's go to a blood bag.
No. Alright, we collected some evidence. Let's go test it.
No! Why would we go test it? No. Let's go to a blood bag. All right, my dear Sherlock. I say let's take her temperature.
Alright, here we go.
Alright,
now it's done. Alright.
So it's 62.6 degrees.
Alright, so let's go calculate how long she's been dead.
Okay. So, we know that standard human temperature is 98.6 degrees minus, and her temperature 62.6 degrees.
Minus 6 is 0. 8 minus 2 is 6. 9 minus 6 is 3. So she lost 36 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, so now what we do is we know that the human body loses in the first 24 hours, it loses 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit
Per hour.
per hour. Correct. Now, what we need to do is divide what she lost by 1.5, and if it's within the 24-hour range,
Then she's been dead for 24 hours.
or within 24 hours. Just
Or within.
Yeah. Alright, that's what we got. 36 divided by 1.5. Would you like to try and redeem yourself with
No,
this?
no.
No, okay.
I'll leave it to the master.
Okay.
I'll redeem myself later.
I forgot how to divide by decimals. This is 2. 3. That's 0. That's 6. That is 4.
That is
4. Minus 6 is 0.
So she's clearly been dead for at least
24 hours. At most.
Alright, Watson, let's begin examining this body.
Wait, don't touch the body, you're not wearing gloves. Go put on
You're
gloves.
right. Yes,
I
yes,
like
sir.
you, dear Watson.
It absolutely is. Okay.
You see the wound right here?
Yes.
You can see how it goes inwards, downwards into the body.
And it's fairly deep too. So we obviously know the object was sharp enough to penetrate the skin, but it clearly looks like it also partly penetrated the abdomen.
Yeah, but it also has a small entrance wound, indicating that when it got in, it went farther in than
It also looks like it was angularly expanded. That is, it expanded on an angle.
Right. Also angled downward.
What kind of blade could have done this? Oh no, Sherlock, we're at world's end.
I wouldn't say that, my dear Watson. I would say it could have been scissors, because scissors are usually crooked and curved.
How do you do it, Sherlock?
It's elementary, my dear Watson. Hello, my dear Watson. Now we are going to be dusting for prints. Now that you have your gloves on, Watson, we can dust for prints on the suspected murder weapon.
But Sherlock, I see no prints.
That's because we haven't dusted yet.
Oh.
Really, Watson? Really? Sometimes I wonder how you passed elementary school.
I don't know. I guess that's how I became a doctor.
Makes sense. Alright, so the way you dust for prints is you have the murder weapon. You put it, then you have a brush. Then you have charcoal, which you put in a separate container, because you don't want to contaminate all of it. And then you take the murder weapon. You put it, take the brush. No, that's too much charcoal.
Sorry.
You're gonna make a mess.
Sorry, Watson.
Alright.
Like that, Sherlock?
Yes, like that. Let me see. See, now you can see the fingerprint.
I still see nothing.
No, it's there. You're just blind.
Okay.
Alright, so now the way you preserve the print and put it in the database is you take tape and you put it on the print. Like so. Collect the dust. And now we have the print. But now we're going to need to examine these prints manually. Let's compare it to Ophelia White's just to make sure.
That is not hers.
Yes. You see that ridge?
Yes, I see the ridge. And the eye. That's a very impressive eye.
Oh, the island also? The
Yeah.
short edge?
Yeah, indubitably. Very impressive, Sherlock.
Yes. Alright, and now Ophelia White's.
So I instantly tell they're two different prints. One is a whirl, the other is a loop.
Ah, yes, you are correct. This is a whirl and this is a loop. You can tell by the wants to check with the other ones too.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. That works.
So we can easily rule out that the prints are not the same and one print must belong to the murderer.
Yes, you are correct.
So now we're going to look at this blood sample and determine whether there's an increased white blood count or not. For if there is, my dear Sherlock, that means that that one of the two people are suspect with a disease. Very, very interesting. Muy interesante indeed.
Let me see.
If you'll come to the same conclusion that I will, the person has sickle cell.
Yes, they do. It appears you're correct. They do have sickle cell. You can see the deformed blood cells.
So, in other words, it means that one of the two people involved in this heinous, heinous crime is very ill. It's time for everyone's favorite show, Sherlock Talks.
Hi guys. Today we will be talking about how we determine whether or not something's human blood. So, the way you determine it is if you take human blood, what you know to be human blood, you put it in an animal, and then the animal, detecting the animal's blood are white cells, determine that it's foreign blood, and creates antibodies to fight it off. But when it does that, it coagulates the antibodies and the foreign blood coagulate, and they form. You want to take those antibodies that the bunny produces and test the unknown blood, and if it coagulates, then it's human blood. If it doesn't, then it's not human blood. So, we're gonna examine skin cells from crime scene.
What do you see, Sherlock, old boy?
I see skin cells.
But whose skin cells?
I think it's the killer's.
Indubitably. Why don't we go and test them, Sherlock, old boy?
Let's go test it for some DNA. Hi, so this is Sherlock Talk, back again. We are going to be talking about gel electrophoresis. In this, forensic scientists put the known sample with known length of DNA with different strands with the sample from the crime scene of the unknown with victims and suspects that they have. So with this, DNA is negatively charged. So when they run a battery through the gel electrophoresis, the negative end is where the DNA is, and the positive end is on the opposite side. So the DNA will travel through the gel electrophoresis, the gel, which has small pores in it, and the smaller the strands are, the farther they can go, but the larger they are, the shorter they go. So they only can go a certain distance, and we can determine how big the strand is from the known. And Watson, please inspect this for me.
Sure thing, Sherlock.
Alright, the way you properly analyze hair is you want to examine it under a microscope to determine where it came from. Oh, interesting.
What?
this hair, all of its characteristics point to the fact that it is indeed head hair.
Let me see, dear Watson, dear Sherlock. I can tell that these are long, curly strands that are very clearly black hairs. Look, Sherlock. The bulb is still intact.
Really? Ooh, we can get some DNA off of that.
Quick, to the lab. And this is Sherlock Talks. Unfortunately, Sherlock is quite busy at the NYPD crime lab, so me, his bumbling assistant Watson, will be filling in for you today. Today we will be talking about hair and how we have used the hair sample we gathered from Harmony White to determine what part of the body it was from. First, you must understand that each hair strand has its own unique pattern. And by that, you'll find that a rabbit's hair has a different scale pattern than a human hair. And a human hair has a different scale pattern than, say, a deer hair. So we can instantly identify the kind of hair, whether it belonged to a rabbit or a human, on the microscope by looking at the scale pattern. Now, there are certain parts of the hair that we can use to find the part of the body that it belongs. The modella looks like the central canal running through a hair. It occupies more than half of the hair's diameter. Moldary index is a measure of the diameter and the medulla relative to the diameter of the hair shaft. For humans, that ratio is 1/3. For most other animals, it's 1/2 or greater. The next aspect that we examine when looking at hair under a microscope is what race the hair belongs to. And in the case of this particular criminal, we were able to identify that the criminal at large was an African or of African descent. And this is because they have the largest pigment granules of any other race and are grouped in clumps of different sizes and shapes. In addition, by looking at the hair under a microscope, we were capable of identifying where the hair came from. In this particular case, we were able to identify that the hair came from the head because it had a uniform diameter and usually a cut tip, and has the typical cut tip. Alright, Sherlock, so we tested the evidence we had, but that's not good enough. We can't do a conviction. You're fired.
Or we could just look again for some more evidence. Like over here, the shoe impression, that's obviously left from the killer.
How do you know it's not from someone that walked by?
Because it leads over here to where the killer was standing.
Suspicious indeed.
And you can tell because the glasses that the killer wore are right here.
Aren't my glasses?
They do look rather fishy. All right.
And then over here, you see the blood trail.
Yes.
Fish.
I see the blood trail indeed. It leads all the way up here to the dead body.
Dun dun dun!
So, Watson, let's do a comb.
Alright, let's
Pause it.
come over here.
Pause it.
All right.
So we know that she died somewhere around
She
here.
got stabbed somewhere around here.
Oh, of course.
Watch out!
Glass!
Oh, I think we found some evidence. Back away. Back away. Let's go put this in a cardboard box, which this is. And we're gonna collect. This is also separate containers within this cardboard box.
Yes.
Not forget
yes.
that.
I'm
Alright, let's take a picture of the tread marks from the shoe. Judging by a quick look, they look like New Balance.
Yes, yes, you can tell.
Can you put down the ruler, please? Alright.
Ruler. There.
Alright. Snap, 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 snap. Alright, we have pictures. and measurements of the foot size and width.
Okay, Sherlock.
Good thing we got a coffee, because
Yes.
I'm tired from staying all night running all this evidence out.
Yes. There's a lot of evidence to process. Alright, so let's start with time of death. Who is our killer, and how does time of death incorporate?
Well, time of death was 24 hours after her, when we found her body. After we processed her body.
And we know that from eyewitness testimony that she had this habit of going on morning walks on a path connecting Pikesville High School and Wellwood.
Yes. And all of her close friends, or just friends or family, knew that. So
we know that it is entirely possible for the killer to have registered for that event at Wellwood and sneaked his way out right before her death to kill her and then come back in with no one noticing.
oh, so there was an event at Wellwood.
What? Yeah, you didn't know about the event in Wellwood? I swear one of our eyewitnesses told you that.
I must have been sleeping.
I
need to drink
wait
more
a
coffee.
second, wait a second. Weren't you at that event at Wellwood?
Didn't you say you had something you had to do with her?
Moving on.
At the blood. So the DNA. So we got DNA analysis from the blood, but however, we did not find it. Did not match anyone in the database because he was probably not a convicted criminal. So.
And the feds couldn't come up with anything in their database either. So we know that this person is not a serial killer.
So, and the blood type was B negative.
And we were able...
Isn't that like really rare?
We were also able to identify that they had sickle cell. We took a blood sample from the crime scene, and we know that somewhere in the process of killing the body, the murderer cut himself, and the bloods mixed. Thus, we are able to identify that this is in fact the killer based off of the skin cell DNA we received from the nail swabs that we performed. Wait a second. Don't you have sickle cell?
Didn't you? Yeah, you had said you. Oh, yeah. How did your appointment with your doctor go?
We're moving on to hair now.
So hair. So we got the part from the hair samples we collected. They were from the head
Of an African American.
Yes.
And they had the bulb attached. And that DNA sequencing came back exactly the same as the blood and this killer's skin. Thus, we know that the hair belonged to the killer. Aren't you African American? Don't you have black hair on your head?
Let's focus on the glass.
Alright. Kind of glass. Well, from the analysis that we did from the refractor index, we determined that it was a beer bottle. That was broken at the crime scene. And it kind of looks like it was shattered from impact on someone's head, like this.
Yes. It does look that way. Incidentally, Sherlock, aren't we missing a piece of evidence under blood? How about alcohol blood level? The perpetrator was very clearly intoxicated.
Oh.
So
how do we know that?
You're able to measure the alcohol level in one's blood with a simple test, just like they do on the roadside with the police.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of was diluted with the victim's blood, so it's not going to give you a very accurate reading.
Yes, but we were able to detect alcohol.
Yeah, so we know they had drinking some alcohol, yes.
But then there you go. That matches with the idea of a beer bottle.
Okay. Yeah.
So we know. Wait a second. Don't you like beer?
So does everybody. Stop bothering the guy. Fingerprints. Same thing with the blood. We couldn't find a match for the fingerprints.
Not in our database. but we are capable of matching the fingerprints with our suspect. So, why don't we go find our suspect and match their fingerprints?
Also, we can match their footprints.
Yes,
Because
yes, yes.
If we took a footprint out.
I am starting to suspect a Mr. Tuttle, a witness on our end of murder. How about you? Aren't you Mr. Tuttle?
Hey, Mr. Tuttle, just the man we were waiting for. Come on, come here. So,
What's going on here?
You have the right to remain silent and to refuse and to answer questions. Anything you say anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to consult an attorney before speaking to the police and to have an attorney present during questioning now or in the future. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. If you decide to answer any questions now without any attorney present, you will still have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to an attorney. Knowing and understanding your rights as I have explained them to you, are you willing to answer my questions without any attorney present?
I don't got no problem. I just know I didn't do anything. I promise I didn't do nothing. I know
Okay.
I didn't do anything.
So, we would like you to provide your fingerprints so we can match them against a criminal. The fingerprint pad here. There's your fingerprint pad.
I didn't do anything. I'm trying to tell you, I didn't do anything.
no, all fingers, please.
All fingers, please. Now, I see you provided us your shoe. We shall take this as evidence.
Is this a New Balance shoe?
Yes, sir.
I think.
How long have you had it?
Almost 2 years, just about.
Can you explain the blood on the tray?
You can get blood from anywhere, you know what I mean? I hunt sometimes, you know.
Can you explain the fact that your fingerprints here match the ones found on the murder weapon?
I don't understand what's going on. I don't even know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. I'm trying to tell you, I didn't do
We
anything.
have clearly proven that you have done something. As such, your DNA from your blood has proven that you were intoxicated with the very glass bottle you used to knock them unconscious. Furthermore,
You have sickle cell. You told us this when we first questioned you.
yes, we were secretly questioning you as you were filming us.
I don't know if you noticed or not, but.
How could I ever think that I could come off with a crime with the great Sherlock and Watson? I admit it. I did it. I was in love with her. And she broke my heart.
Well, unfortunately, this just goes to the old adage, love and crime don't pay. You're off to jail.
Oh no!
Well, Watson, Sherlock, another successful case.
Yep.
Ben Franklin Tuttle is now in prison for the rest of his life for the murder of Harmony White.